Welcome to another episode of Strategic Minds Making Money Moves, where we give those strategies to make that green. It is my honor and my pleasure to welcome to the stage Latasha Emeri. I am really looking forward to this one because her business really hits home. I truly understand what she's trying to do, why she's trying to do it, and where she's trying to go. Welcome, Latasha.
Thank you so much for having me. I wore the green to bring it on in.
There you go. Bring it on in. Bring it on in. That's what we want. Bring that green in, right? We want those multi-million dollar businesses and keep it going.
Yes.
That's
yes.
right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Latasha, would you tell the audience a little bit about your business?
I own a home care agency, Always Best Care Senior Services of Atlanta. And what that is, we do our best. It is our job to keep your loved ones aging in place, keep them safe and happy and healthy. That is our goal, so that you can have peace of mind while you are taking care of other things.
So is this a franchise? Is this an independent? Tell us a little bit about that.
We are a franchise. There are 200 offices across the United States. In the Metro Atlanta area, I am it. There is an office in North Atlanta. I'm in Roswell. We service 14 counties in the Metro Atlanta area.
Fantastic, fantastic. We all know that, our population is getting older. And we know that one of the things about our population getting older is more and more people want to stay home.
Yes.
Right? They don't
Yes,
necessarily
absolutely.
want to go to a facility, not to mention they can't afford it.
Correct. Correct.
Because they're so expensive. But when it comes to getting good health care, we know that when people are living at home, they feel more comfortable. They're willing to work with people a little bit more because it's in their own environment.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
In terms of doing that. So with your services that you offer, can you tell us just a little bit about those services, what those product services are that you provide through your care?
So what we do, we provide the services, I like to describe them as the services that keep you happy. So bathing, grooming, getting dressed, meal preparation, transportation, light housekeeping, medication reminders, just companionship, the things that keep you happy. That is what home care is all about. And typically, to stay happy, those are things that you have to pay for. Insurance does not cover the things that we do. We're keeping you happy, not healthy. They will keep you with home health and getting your physical therapy, occupational therapy. But when it comes to those things that keep you happy, the things that typically a loved one would do for you, but now we're all working. So while you're out, we can take care of your mom and help her with those activities of daily living to keep her at home.
You said something that was very key, and I hope the audience keyed in on that. You said it's a difference between that your insurance will pay for what keeps you healthy, but they don't prepare for what keeps you happy, even though our mental and emotional health is part of health.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow. So when we begin to think about that, I know that providing those kinds of services, I had it from my mom and dad, et cetera. But in providing those services, you have to get skilled workers. How are your workers different? Do they go through the same process? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So in the home, we employ CNAs, certified nursing assistants. These are young women and men who have passed some type of training and skills to be able to help you get bathed, help you get dressed, help you to ambulate and transfer. Those are the types of skills that they have learned and been trained on. In the state of Georgia, you either have to be a CNA or what we call a PCA, a personal care assistant, to be able to come into the home to provide that care.
So let me ask you a question. If insurance doesn't take care of being happy, that's another story for another day. That's a whole nother episode. But if they don't provide that, do you only get private pay? Does that revenue only come because I'm working and as a daughter, I'm going to pay for someone to come in to help my mom?
So the majority of our services are private pay for those individuals who have planned and who are fortunate enough to be able to pay for these services out of pocket. We are also Medicaid providers. So the state does have a Medicare waiver program that provides these services for those who may be less fortunate, but have the need. And we also accept veterans benefits. So the VA also will cover for home care services. Long-term care insurance will pay for what we do as well. But again, that requires some planning on your part.
Okay. Okay, so we can get help through long-term care. You have veterans, you have Medicaid, and then you have private pay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, we all know that anything that we get from the state and the government is not equivalent when it comes to, what it takes to get things done. So I'm sure there are challenges that are there too, in terms of making that happen. Would you tell the audience what you would like to discuss today?
I want to talk a little bit about how do we keep our cash coming in, so keep our revenue good, when we face the challenge of compensating the best CNAs. So CNAs are at the bottom of the pay scale when it comes to healthcare providers. We stood up and made a difference during COVID. Keeping people at home. People did not want to go to the hospitals. People were coming out of skilled nursing facilities, leaving assisted living facilities because they felt safer in a private environment in their home. The Georgia Department of Labor told us that only 9% of the CNAs returned to the workforce. So we have a major caregiver shortage here in the metro Atlanta area. When we are competing with McDonald's for wages and Amazon for wages, we are in a crunch. When our reimbursement from the state or the value that the market has put onto our services is that is so low, these folks have to find a livable wage.
I can understand with that, and especially when we start talking about market. Hold on, we're going to take a station break. When we come back, we're going to continue this conversation.
Strategic Minds, Making Money Moves with Vicki Wright Hamilton focuses on helping entrepreneurs to overcome their business challenges to help increase their bottom line. Each episode provides strategies for growth and transformation. Watch Vicki share her 20-plus years of experience as a corporate executive to help entrepreneurs level up.
When I was in college, I had a college professor to tell me I would never, ever make it in technology. He told me that I needed to change my career, all because I took a test and got a D after studying so very hard. I knew at that point that I had to learn the game of life and survival. How did I do that? I really put on my game face so that they never knew what to expect, when, where, or how. See, life has all of its journeys and obstacles. We all have a story to tell, and we have many different paths that we take. My journey to this moment has not been easy. You have to play the game, play to win, and you win by wearing your game face. When we think about strategy, think about moving forward, we're always wondering and concerned, are we hitting the right target audience? Are we doing the right things to take our business forward? Don't lose sight of the fact that your talents and your passion brought you here. Those talents and passion can be contagious to those who want to hear it, who want to learn, and who want to know more. It's just important to do what? Tell our story. Tell the story that touches each and every person that you want to contribute and be a customer to your business. Address their issues, address their concerns, take care of them. It's all about making somebody what? Feel good. It's not what we do for them. It's not how we do it. It's how we make them feel. Welcome back. Let's continue this conversation. We were talking about the wages that they have to go work. They got to go find to
Gotta
get
work.
a paycheck, right?
Yes.
And they go wherever they can
Yes.
to make that work.
Yes.
So with all of these people leaving and we don't have the care, that means even if you got a client to come to you, you may not have somebody to service them.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
And then the second thing is that those that are getting service, are you paying them higher wages to keep them? What are you doing in terms of the people that are already working with you?
So what we've had to do is to just kind of level the playing field. So we all know that the Medicaid reimbursement rate is several percentage points lower than a private pay patient. Even the VA has stepped up their reimbursement rates. So what we do, we pay some of the highest wages when it comes to a Medicaid client. So we try to, based on the level of care that the client has and their payer source, that determines what your wage is. So we try to incentivize folks to want to work with our Medicaid population, who are our most needy population, by paying them the same as if they were working in a private situation. And there is a balance there. Because with private pay, you're going to get those funds pretty much, we collect those immediately the next week. With Medicaid, you have an abundance of paperwork, an abundance of process before you can get a payment. And the state of Georgia is better than many states. We do have a pretty quick process, but it is still delayed. And so when you're trying to balance paying everyone, that's something else we do. We pay weekly. And we do offer where aides can get their funds on a daily basis if they want to access them. But we can no longer pay twice a week. So we incur a lot of additional costs to be able to offer an incentive package to our staff so that they can go out and care for everyone.
Wow. Even when I think about that, I think about the opportunity for factoring. Are you familiar with factoring?
I'm familiar with factoring because I have an accounting background, so I'm familiar with it, but I've never thought about it. Scares me.
Why?
So, I don't know.
So let me say this to you. I have close experience with factoring. But what I will tell you is that the Wright factoring company that you work with, those invoices that you send and that automatic deposit, you don't have to worry about whether you can pay your people. And the amount that they keep on the top, you'll get that back as the payments come in.
So you do get it back.
Oh yeah,
so it's not like credit collection.
Well, no. So here's what happens. Let's say that I have an invoice for $1,000. Okay, and the rate that the factoring company charges me is 0.002. Okay, and it's 0.002 over a 60-day period.
Okay,
right. So when I send that invoice in for $1,000, and it's verified that yes, this is an invoice, yes, this person worked, the factoring company will say, oh, okay, let me deposit $1,000 into your account.
Okay.
So 2 days later, they put the $1,000. They look at that $1,000 and they say, okay, let me take the percentage off of that. So they'll take the 0.002 and they might hold an 8 or 9% in escrow.
Okay.
Okay. And they put that into an account. They pay you the rest of the money. So now you got some cash.
Okay.
Right? You may only have 80 to 85%, but you got some cash.
Okay.
Right? So you can make payroll that way.
You can make payroll.
You can make payroll. So now, as the invoice gets paid, when that client finally pays and it goes to that factoring company, they now say, oh, I got my money. So that extra 8% they get, they now release that to you because all you were paying was that 0.002 over that 60 days. So as long as your client pays, so if you know what that time period is, you can set up a factoring for that. We have corporations out there that don't pay but every 120 days.
Right.
Mm-hmm. They don't pay every 90 days, right? So you can't, as a small business owner, you can't not pay people for 90 days or 120 to wait. But if I go to factoring and that business partner I'm working with says, yep, they work for me, yep, they spent these hours, yep, I'm going to pay this paycheck. Then they put that in my account. On the 15th and the 30th, I can make that payroll like nobody's business. And then when the company pays the factoring company and they get their money, That little extra goes into my account that week.
I was
So
misinformed of how this works, so I appreciate this
Yeah,
knowledge.
so every other week, I could get that on top of it. So I think that every factoring company can work differently, but I would encourage you to explore,
Absolutely.
what that looks like from a cash flow perspective.
Absolutely.
But it also can help you as you deal with your mix. The second thing is we all know from a portfolio mix of clients, and it's everywhere. It's unfortunate, but it's everywhere. Private pays more than anybody else. I don't care what kind of government funds you have. I don't care where it comes from. Private's going to pay more than government. And so we have to make sure, we don't want to leave anybody out, but we got to make sure we got enough of a balance of a private so that we can be that competitive advantage. Otherwise, we're not able to be a competitive advantage to keep those CNAs, because you can't get blood from a turnip.
You cannot.
Right? You just can't do that. So when we start talking about how do we help these CNAs make more money, how do we incentivize them, how do we do things to encourage them, to want to stay. I commend you on being able to get daily pay. That's huge for our community, especially when they're making such minimum money and need to get that money quickly. And if you add the factoring on top, you really gonna have a competitive advantage, in terms of being able to do that. But we've got to increase your private clients. And I recognize that in the 14 counties that you serve, there are different demographics in all 14. So we're gonna take a station break, and when we come back, I wanna continue that conversation, and we'll see if there's a question or comment from the audience. We'll be right back.
Strategic Minds, Making Money Moves with Vicki Wright Hamilton focuses on helping entrepreneurs to overcome their business challenges to help increase their bottom line. Each episode provides strategies for growth and transformation. Watch Vicki share her 20-plus years of experience as a corporate executive to help entrepreneurs level up.
When I was in college, I had a college professor to tell me I would never, ever make it in technology. He told me that I needed to change my career, all because I took a test and got a D after studying so very hard. I knew at that point that I had to learn the game of life and survival. How did I do that? I really put on my game face so that they never knew what to expect, when, where, or how. See, life has all of its journeys and obstacles. We all have a story to tell, and we have many different paths that we take. My journey to this moment has not been easy. You have to play the game, play to win, and you win by wearing your game face. When we think about strategy, think about moving forward, we're always wondering and concerned, are we hitting the right target audience? Are we doing the right things to take our business forward? Don't lose sight of the fact that your talents and your passion brought you here. Those talents and passion can be contagious to those who want to hear it, who want to learn, and who want to know more. It's just important to do what? Tell our story. Tell the story that touches each and every person that you want to contribute and be a customer to your business. Address their issues, address their concerns, take care of them. It's all about making somebody what? Feel good. It's not what we do for them. It's not how we do it. It's how we make them feel. Welcome back. As we are talking about, looking at your clients, out of all 14 counties, we have a mixture of capability, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because our economics are different in different parts of the city, and people can afford to do different things. And I really think that it's going to be important that, and you said something that as I was thinking about this, insurance companies that offer long-term care are looking for partners to be able to offer solutions. You need to get with insurance agencies, and you need to let them know that you offer this so that that long-term care can go to those things, because they're dealing with it every single day. And then that insurance pays for it, right? You're not worried about whether I'm going to get my money or not. That insurance is going to pay for it and help me to move forward. I'd strongly encourage you to think about that. With insurance companies. The second thing is that as you are out there looking at your private pay and people that you're going after, there are corporations all over the city in every zip code that has the workers that are having parents that can afford to do this. Do they even know you exist to offer as a benefit to people who are facing this? I was working a professional job, 3 from the president, up at the top. I needed a caregiver, and I had to go do the research. It would have been wonderful for my company to say, here are some offerings that if you're looking for this, that you can go get. Because you can't change the economics that's out there when it comes to government. You can't do it.
That's true.
But you always want to be able to offer the workers what they deserve, the value that they bring. Because there's nothing like a peace of mind when I can go to work and I know that person loving my mama just like I would.
Absolutely.
And treating them the exact same way, right?
Absolutely.
So I would encourage you to think about corporations that you can go to their benefits department and partner with them, as we continue to move forward.
Absolutely.
Let's see if we have a question or comment from the audience.
Hi, Latasha. I'm Crystal Davis. My company is the Lean Coach Incorporated. I'm the CEO and founder of that company. I love your model for your employees, flexible payment options. And it sounds to me like you have a very inviting culture. What are you doing to market that you're looking to attract CNAs into your company?
So we have a full-time recruiter, and we've changed the training that our recruiters have employed in the past. So our recruiters are like marketers. They need to understand the benefits that we offer. We have competitive wages. We are very flexible. We implemented a PTO policy back starting June the 1st. So now we even offer PTO for our staff. And we just try to be a loving and family type business because we are in people's home caring for people. Good CNAs, they do this because they want to do it, not for the money. And we invite them to come and be with us.
Thank you for your question. I have a question for you. In terms of these CNAs and your recruiter, because you said there was a certification or something that you have to get to be a CNA, are there schools that offer this certification, or are there certain places that they go to get this certification?
There are schools. We have reached out to a couple of schools to be partners with them. We post jobs there. We do lunch and learns with them. They in turn post their credentials with us in certifying process, because we get a lot of applicants, even though the job description may say CNA required. More than 3 times our applicants do not have that certification. So we spend a lot of time, my recruiter spends a lot of time just going through the process to educate folks, if you want to do this, this is how you get the CNA. And so we have schools that we have partnered with to send them to.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome, because, getting that pipeline, right?
Yes.
It's like, how do we grow the pipeline in terms of what we're doing and moving forward?
Yes.
Do you offer any internship programs at the, at the college level and or at community colleges and or after high school, apprenticeship kinds of things where you come in, we will help you get your CNA, get through the exam, and then, we can help to employ you after this? in terms, is there any kind of opportunity there?
I have volunteered with the Rockdale Career Academy.
Mhm.
And so I live in Conyers, so
Okay.
we are based in Conyers because that's
Okay.
where I live. But I have volunteered with the Rockdale Career Academy to learn more about their process because they have programs that train our high school students to be CNAs. When they graduate, they are CNAs.
That's awesome.
So we're partnering with them. The one challenge that we run up against, because I have in my office now, our scheduler, she was a high school graduate. She came in to be a CNA when she was 17 or 18. She's since graduated. She's getting her working on her bachelor's now to be a cardiologist. When folks see our younger generation coming to the home, they're very skeptical. So they don't want the 20-year-old CNA or the 19-year-old CNA. They want someone with a little more season. So that is one of the things when I'm working with Rockdale Career Academy that I'm expressing to them. We've got to change the image that our population sees on these folks that are graduating. So these are some things that we can work on. So I've been interviewing folks at the high school and just volunteering some time there.
Well, I think that's awesome. But before we go, the one thing that I would say is that because you're dealing with these students that don't want, people that may not want the younger students to come in, is that your ability to offer a more competitive price to the family for looking at these high school students that have been certified can go a long way because people can't afford it.
You're absolutely right.
And so giving them options, you're now giving them an option that they can look at, that they can go through, etc. So yes, I understand that people don't want younger people in, but with that experience, the education, and the fact that, okay, it used to be $1,000, you can get it for $800. That $200 is everything to me.
It is everything,
right?
Yes.
So I would encourage you to think about other ways of packaging this, so that you can think about how to make that work.
Yes.
Well, I have thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. Can you all join me in thanking my guests today? Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Strategic Minds Making Money Moves, where we give those strategies to get that green. See you next time.